Welcome to the election edition on Bronc Radio News. I am Omar Jimenez. The news starts now. Texans have elected a new governor. Ivan Herrera has the results.
The Texas gubernatorial race was intense, with Greg Abbott taking the win, keeping Texas as a primary Republican state. Abbott won with 59.27% of the votes, while Democratic candidate Wendy Davis, the primary competitor to Abbott, received 38.92% of the votes. The Libertarian candidate Kathy Glass received 1.41% of the votes, and finally the Green Party came in last at 0.39% of the votes. For Bronc Radio, I am Ivan Herrera.
Many other statewide offices were up for election. Daniel Galvan has more.
Key political positions in the state of Texas were determined in the past 2014 midterm elections, as the lieutenant governor spot was filled by Republican Dan Patrick, who garnered 59.3% of the vote over Democrat Leticia Vandenpute to become the next lieutenant governor of the state of Texas. In the U.S. Senate, John Cornyn won with 61.6% of the votes over Democratic rival David Alamiel. In the U.S. House of Representatives in District 15, Democrat Ruben Hinojosa retained his position in office with 54.2% of the vote over Republican Eddie Zamora. In the Attorney General race, Republican Ken Paxton was elected, and in the Land Commissioner race, Republican George P. Bush was also awarded in office. Reporting for Bronc Radio, I'm Daniel Galvan.
The Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, art that Leonardo da Vinci was famously known for. But did you know there are many more of these masterpieces? The University of Texas Pan American brings to you Leonardo da Vinci, Machines in Motion, real-size inventions that da Vinci crafted and mastered himself. Come to the UTPA Visitor Center and experience the history of the origins of da Vinci's art. Showing dates end on January 3rd of 2015. Visit utpa.edu for more information.
3 newcomers are coming to the Edinburgh School Board. 4 positions were up for grabs this year, as 2 seats are open as members decided not to seek re-election. For place 1, incumbent board president Juan Sonny Palacios Jr. easily won his seat with 67% of the vote over opponent Patricio Inaroni with 32%. Palacios addressed the growth in the district as a platform for his next term.
So we project for 1 or maybe 2 new high schools, maybe about 3 middle schools, and maybe about 8 elementary schools. So there's a tremendous amount of growth, tremendous amount of hiring that's going to be happening.
Oscar Salinas is one of the new members elected, as Arado Eddie Sainz Jr. competed for this open seat. Salinas received 54%, while Sainz had 45% of the votes. Salinas got his message across to voters.
Trying to get our message out since we come so late in the campaign, and just trying to tell people that we want to make sure that our teachers, our custodians, our support staff get the raises and the benefits that they need.
Another seat being vacated by board member David Torres will be held by his wife, Ellie Torres, for place 3. Torres said that with her experience in education, she would use that to advocate for teachers.
Actually, my husband served on the board, and I would kind of ask him. I would say, "Hey, this was a concern." He says, "We didn't know anything about it." And I know that teachers feel that connection, and that's going to be a plus. I know I'm going to be their voice.
Torres won with 62% against her challenger John Rodriguez, who received 37%. After learning the results of the race, Rodriguez saw his campaign as an experience.
I consider it an incredible experience. I know I've gotten a lot out of it in that I know what it takes to run now. We put our heart and soul into it.
The biggest upset came from the challenger Xavier Salinas, beating the incumbent Martin Doc Castillo with 53% of the voters, as Castillo got 47%. Salinas would like to bring back programs for students once he's sworn in.
I want to be able to bring innovative programs back to our school district, that where our kids can really be challenged and enhanced to be better students and better graduates.
Castillo looks back at the accomplishments that the board made during his term.
As a board member, you're only one individual. It takes 4, or it takes a majority vote to make something happen. Throughout the campaign, that's something we had to educate people on.
Castillo also said that he will look into running again in the next election in 2016. For Bronc Radio, I'm Omar Jimenez. Groups came together to watch the results come in as they celebrated with music and fun. Jenny Gavon has the details.
The Texas Freedom Network, a nonpartisan organization, held their Texas Showdown party for this year's general election at Suerte in downtown McAllen. The organization worked hard for months advocating voting within the young community. President of the TFN, Veronica Higadera, spoke about the importance of this.
Young people are virtually progressive in all issues, and so if we want our beliefs and our views to be represented in the national and state level, we have to go out and vote.
The TFN was able to reach thousands of people. Regional organizer Ruben Garza worked with the Valley for better voter turnout.
We haven't seen the turnout exactly yet. We know that we had high numbers of early voting, highest in the state, highest rate percentage-wise in the state, that is. The first day was almost 10,000 people turned out to the polls of early voting.
The Texas Freedom Network continues their work in the Valley so people can have their voice heard. For Bronc Radio, I'm Jennifer Galvan.
Thank you so much for joining us on this latest edition of Bronc Radio News. We would like to thank our station manager, Ivan Herrera, our advisor, Mr. Fred Mann. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Bronc TV Radio. Until next time, Bronc Country,